Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Friday night webinar. We are just starting live streaming here, so hello to Facebook world and hello to everyone in replay land. Hello, Samara, welcome. Just saw you pop in the waiting room there. Thanks for joining tonight. I have a fun evening planned for us tonight. I found that over time, one of the things that helped me to sort of understand our human nature, our human design, is horoscopes and astrology and the planetary alignments. And I know that for a lot of people, they know the basic signs. And when you get a horoscope reading, you read your sign that you sort of identify with in the quadrant in which you were born. But I thought tonight I would just dive just a wee bit into something that is a lot of fun and kind of gives us a bit of a broader view on our actual astrological blueprint, our natal birth report, our significant planetary alignments, the day that we came into this world and took our first breath. And so a lot of times you hear things referred to as a sun sign, a moon sign, a rising sign, all these kinds of things. And it can be rather chaotic and there's a lot to absorb. And you hear me mentioning planets a lot, and each of these planets have a sort of superpower to them. And the other thing that we have is something that are called houses, which are where basically the planetary alignment is set up in a particular house, and there's 12 houses, and they all consist of different strengths and weaknesses. They consist of different things like, for example, your first house is actually where your rising sign is set up, and that's kind of like your identity and your behaviors. And I almost think of it as some people say, unconscious mind, conscious mind, and subconscious mind, as well as identity, emotions, and how you sort of show yourself, or a career-based role, that kind of thing. So when we look at something like your rising sign, this is the one that we should actually be paying the most attention to. A rising sign is really who you are. If you were to think about your horoscope kind of like almost like a car, your rising sun is going to be how your car looks. How do you keep it? Do you keep it clean? How do you what color is it? Does it have eyelashes on the headlights? Do you have an elf sticking out of the trunk? That kind of thing is your rising sign. It's kind of like the real you, who you are, how you portray yourself. If you were to meet people, what they would think of you. Good evening, Heather. Welcome. So it's kind of like your identity, sort of like if you were a car, you'd be a Tesla or a Volkswagen. This is your rising sign. So this is a sign that you really want to pay attention to, because it's going to be the most accurate as far as giving you a read on your horoscope. For a lot of people, they've been reading their horoscopes, or they've been watching their horoscopes, and they never really understood what that meant. If it was something that if it was something that all of a sudden they should be paying attention to. They got a little bit confused with sun and moon signs. So this is just a way to be able to ascertain what's really going on for you. And it's really cool because all of these are sort of planted when you're first born, when you first take that breath. So
Can't see us. Oh, they can't see us.
Oh,
They can see us. Say hi to my friends.
hello.
Say hi to my friend. That's my coach, Jackie. We're
Nice.
doing a meditation now. I gotta go. And say goodbye to my friend, Jackie.
Bye, friends.
Jackie,
That's so awesome.
Jackie, can you hear? They love you.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
I've been
Thanks,
telling him.
Nikki.
I said, I've got to go now because I got my meditation. I'm
That's
going to go up
amazing.
to my place now, and then I'm going to
Uh,
hope I didn't interrupt. Okay, see
Not
you
at all.
later.
We'll join you on your walk. That's beautiful.
Oh, it's just me and you?
No, we have a group of wonderful people in here paying their getting just we're just literally getting set up, just kind of talking about astrological signs and getting into the evening. So it's perfect timing, like
Oh,
always.
hi, everybody. Oh, cool,
No,
cool.
no, never
Oh,
interrupt.
hi. Oh, that's
Not
awesome.
here. We're chill.
Okay. So, oh, fantastic.
I'm just explaining a little bit of the differences between sun,
Mm.
moon, and rising signs, so that it's almost like when you read your horoscope now, you'll be able to actually understand almost like having three horoscopes in one. And when we look at something like our moon sign, which is often something we don't look at, that's often our emotions and how sort of that inner work, that subconscious mind that people don't get to see right away, but once they know you, they get to sort of see that side of you. So your moon sign can actually give you a lot of interpretation and a lot of understanding about your emotions and where you kind of come from, and your external or internal turmoil. I'll almost say your internal joy. It'll give you this window inside. So one of the places, it's easy to be able to read your chart if you have a birth chart written out. If you don't, what I thought would be really fun, and I'm going to put this in the chat because there is one of the better websites that I have found to just do a free birth chart, because you can go on Google, of course, and just do a free birth chart. And I know it looks weird, but it's called alabe.com, Alabe.com. And what that'll do is that'll actually give you a full printout of your own birth chart so that you can actually see. I'll show you guys mine so that you can just or show you how it works. So if you go on to, you can just go onto a free natal chart, and it's super easy. You just literally type in, I'll make this bigger so you guys can see it. Hopefully, is that sharing okay? You guys can actually see it. Awesome. So you don't need to put in your email on this one, which is another thing that I like. You literally just put in your birth date. And then what you do is you also put in your birth time, because your birth time is very important because it actually measures the degrees to which the planets are. So it makes it a lot easier. You can choose from any country, so no matter where you were born, you can do this, and this is totally free. This is one of the ones that doesn't charge you, I haven't been spammed by emails from them before or anything like that. But oh, I did. Oh, I was gonna say I did something wrong because that is not my birth chart 5. I put PM instead of AM. All right. So as soon as you put the right time and everything in there, there we go. So this is what a birth chart ends up looking like. You can see all of the signs on the outside. You can see a bunch of little markers in there that have a whole bunch of lines and all sorts of stuff going to. These are longitudinal and longitudinal mappings of where the planets were on the very minute that you were born. But the neat thing is, as you come down, and it shows you exactly, it gives you like a little mini reading of your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign. It tells you exactly where they are. And then it also indicates the strongest degrees of planets that were in alignment when you were born. So you can actually read about each, like even the north node of the moon is in there. There's, it talks about how you are in groups of people, how you manage the things that sort of will probably light you up a little bit more, some of those deep gnawing fears in and under certain planets, gives you some insight as to who you are and how you operate. And it's really quite detailed. And this is free. It has something that says, if you want a 30-page report, it's $25. Climb on in and sign up for that. But you get quite a vast reading, and it shows you your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign. Now these don't change. These are your astrological signs. So when you're reading your horoscope, you can now read for Gemini, Leo. You can read for those 3 signs, whatever they may be. What the rising sign means is that to the east, at the place where the sun was actually coming into, where is actually ascending into, is that first planetary alignment that they have. So that's your rising sign. So that's where the sun was actually starting to rise in the Eastern Hemisphere. And then your sun and your moon sign are where the sun and the moon were when you were born. And so it makes a lot of sense. However, as we go through day by day, which is why you can do daily horoscopes, it's showing us which planets are in each house. And like I say, there's 12 houses. So when you look at the houses, this is how they actually end up making horoscopes happen. If it's in your first house, which is always your moon, your rising sign, that's your sort of yourself, your physical, your body. This is sort of how you'll look. A lot of times your rising sign is you'll have the looks of a Gemini or a Scorpio, whatever it is. It'll kind of interpret some of your major life themes. It will be your sort of earlier life experiences, your personality, who you are, the way you navigate through reality. So it can end up being very profound. That's why it's such a strong reading and so accurate. So that's why we sort of go by the rising sign. So pay attention to your rising sign if you ever see that. And know that a lot of times when you're reading horoscopes, it's actually just a sun sign. So it's like it's part of your astrological reading, but really only a part of it. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this at all today is that for some of us, we've been going through this big shift where we're really kind of coming into our own. We're really starting to understand what we're meant to be here to do, but we're still kind of feeling a little bit stuck. We're still feeling like there's things that are holding us back. There's things that maybe we need to still kind of learn about ourselves. This, I find, gives us a really big insight onto just who we are and how we are. And day by day, this will be able to give you just more insight into more of a generalized understanding. I won't go through all of the houses. The big ones that sort of come up are the 4th house, which is where your sun sign is, and that is going, or your moon sign is, sorry, and that is always going to be, 4th house is always sort of your home, your prosperity, your property, your parents, your ancestral lineage, your roots, your foundation. And then in the 5th house, where the sun sign is, that's where how you feel about children and play and pleasure and hobbies and all these things. So we pay attention most to those because those have the biggest impact on life. But when we start to understand the other 12 houses that are in there as well, it just gives us more and more of an understanding. So I have a neat PDF that I will throw up on my page so that you guys can see it, that has all of the houses listed, plus it has all of the planets listed, because this is the other thing that I talk about a lot during my webinars, is where the planets are and what's going on. We have Venus coming in this week, and so that's kind of like the dreamy, romantic, your values. So we're going to be diving into values this week, and that, because I know Venus is coming in, I know that values is going to be a really good way to get us where we're going this week, to really get our focus dialed on in when Venus is present. It's kind of neat. And we have Pluto and Uranus and Neptune in our field as well. So just knowing those, we know Pluto is the planet of birth, death, and rebirth, of change, of distracted. A whole bunch of messages coming in. And we have Jupiter, which is basically that sort of sense of optimism that kind of keeps us moving and learning. It gives us faith, and it's kind of lucky. So as I'm talking about these planets tonight a little bit, it'll just make a bit more sense if I sprinkle in a bit of what that planet sort of represents, and you'll be able to understand how we go through these fluxes and flows, and why on certain weeks I'm sort of preaching almost that we have this energy supporting us. We have these things going on to support us. And depending on where the houses are and where the astrological signs are all falling, we can fine tune and really tune into that a little bit and get a little bit more empowerment as to what we will have the most strength with. So I'm just going to stop sharing. So that's one of the sites that is actually really good. Oh, it's still not, didn't show my chart. Thank you. The chat is not working. That's so weird. I'll let you guys, I'm sure a lot of you have seen your birth chart, and you can even do it on your phone while you're watching this right now. If you look at the one thing about reading the chart that I found really interesting, when you look at it, it's almost kind of like a 4-quadrant kind of thing. On the upper quadrants, if you have a lot of your lines up in those upper quadrants, you often operate on outside. So you're generally more of an extrovert. You're kind of out in the public all the time. You're sort of just out and doing things, often actors or musicians and people that are really active in community. Their charts are rather lit up in the middle, where all those lines were looking like a string art sort of a thing. If they're up in the top 2 quadrants, kind of like from 9 to 3 in a clock, you'll often be a person that's just a lot more out there, and someone who's really chatty, and someone who's just really has a lot of people around them, lives in the outside world a lot. If you see them in the bottom, mine all sort of regulate in the bottom area of the chart. There's 2 parts to it. The first quadrant on the left, where most of my triangulations are, is all kind of like we call it freedom or fate. Freedom is where you kind of can be in control of your own chart. Fate does, there's not these huge destinies. It's all sort of dependent on the choices that you make each day, where if they're all kind of in that right quadrant, that's often fate is like just guiding you so strongly that you were meant to just do something so strongly, which is those people will have this true desire when I'm coaching them to see. It's neat to look at their birth chart too, just to kind of get this showing of what's going on. What you'll end up seeing is that they have had these super strong urges that just pull them so innately. It's like their lessons are just, their life is set out for them, and they just know that they're meant to do something. Whereas on the other side, you can be a little bit more flippant. You can sort of change your destiny a lot more often have more sort of different careers. There's different people that have, you may know that person that was just like always wanted to be a doctor and became the doctor and is the doctor. Like those people will have, it's almost always on that right-hand side of the chart. It's really kind of neat. So just knowing these little idiosyncrasies about your birth chart will be quite profound and quite telling. So to get into just this week and what has been going on, we've had a lot of shifts and changes this week. I did mention last week that the energy would be lightening a little bit, but we still have had this bit of heaviness before we kind of enter into June. I mean, June is just this pure manifestation month. And so tonight we're going to do a beautiful light meditation that's just going to amplify the codes of receiving into our bodies, minds, and souls, because this receiving energy, it's coming in so strongly for people. They're knowing now what they're wanting really more than they ever have before. And we're becoming clear on some of the things that have been really pushing us and urging us forward. It's like we've been getting this pushing from the universe, and now we're finally kind of allowing them to push us rather than sticking in our heels so much. It's like, really, maybe I should I? Are you telling me that, yeah, I should? Because the universe wants this for us, whatever it is that we've been wanting. And so one of the exercises that I thought that we would start with today is actually just doing a little bit of breath work and expanding into some of those things that we really want. So I'm going to give us a really quick overview for this weekend, just because it's quite profound in a lot of ways. This weekend is it has been sort of like this end game of being right in the middle of the full moon and the new moon. So we have our full moon coming up soon here. And one of the really cool things that is going to be happening with this full moon is, of course, it's also coming in at the end of the month, and June is, like I say, going to be this astrological powerhouse of abundance, of receiving energy. And if we have ever had trouble receiving before, if we have ever had trouble not getting into that receiving mode, this week is when we are about to shift into this receiving mode. So the other thing that happens when this happens is some resistance. And so some of us have been feeling this week, where it's like, no matter what you do, things kind of keep popping up in your way. And it's like, is the universe testing me? The universe is, some say it is testing us, some say it isn't, but it's giving us the opportunity to act in our highest and best good. And so this is where we get to make this choice. We get to understand truly if we're living in a state where we are simply not allowing ourselves to move forward where we want to go, if we're allowing something to keep us back, or if we're just going to go for it, damn it, if we are just going to actually allow this to happen, if we're going to allow ourselves to receive. And one of the things, when I asked myself today, I was grounding in my garden, just thinking about what I was going to talk about today. And one of the things came up was that we have to be ready to receive in every way. We have to be ready to receive love, full on, abundant love in the utmost highest version, and to actually allow that, especially when we've been a person that gives and gives and gives and gives and gives and gives and gives all the time, a person that is always giving. That receiving button, to turn that switch on, to allow that to happen, is not the easiest thing. Like you would think, just receive, yes, I'm ready. But if it's not showing up yet, there's something that's not in alignment yet. So we're going to uncover that tonight, I feel. We're going to allow these thoughts to just process, allow this healing to be done around actually receiving, around allowing ourselves to actually really feel that. And if we were to even sort of tap into a little bit with how it would feel to truly receive unconditional love, like to really allow ourselves to truly receive love in every way, so to be adored and never let go, to be trusted, trusting, to be completely loved. That gives me goosebumps. But for some people that I was coaching this week, when we were talking, it was like, how would it feel to just allow that? For some, it's like, yes, I'm ready. For others, it's like, oof, I'm afraid I've already had that. Like, I actually even remember saying to myself, I can't bear losing this again. I can't bear feeling so vulnerable again. There's these things that are attached to that. And so these little things are going to be able to come up tonight, I feel, as we're in this meditation. We're just going to get into, the feeling of being a tree, and just noticing how they don't have to go run around looking for anything. They just literally grow and trust that it's going to come. And so we're going to take on that energy. It's going to be really beautiful. So this weekend is kind of that precipice of where we get to start feeling a little bit more sure. There's been some questions being asked this week, does the universe have my back? Am I supposed to be doing this? Is God willing me to do this? Is God supporting me? Is this all worth it? Am I crazy for opening this door of self-work where it's it's so much to think about all the time. It's so much to be in it all the time. But what we're realizing is that yes, 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 it is, because when it's not and when we're not is when it feels awful. When we think about not doing it, when we think about not having it, that's the way we don't want to feel. And this is the contrast that we're being sort of called to just really see. This weekend is where Neptune comes in, and Neptune, as I was saying, is kind of that dreamy planet. Neptune is got this beautiful energy, but it also causes a little bit of disruption because it makes us really look at things. So when you're seeing something like Neptune and Pluto aligning, and Pluto's in retrograde still, this is where we're going to be kind of like pushed to actually move on some really important issues, some things that we've been really, kind of bringing into the vortex, but now we're assimilating, now we're integrating. So now it's like this kind of like, watching one identity take another over, where it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's literally allowing yourself to see this beneficial outcome, to keep focused on where it is that we're going, to keep focused on what it is that we want, and know that you are a leader and that you have these kind of leadership abilities that you're able to help others with, that you're able to just almost lead by example, this higher purpose, this how you can actually, you're like coming of age, where it's this timing, it's all in divine timing, and now is the time. And so when we're trying to motivate ourselves, instead of thinking, okay, I'll start tomorrow or do it later, now, right now is the time that we get to just do something small, something that's just going to, just right now, just get it over with, just do it. That whole do it in fear, just that's the inspired action, is not waiting for that right time, to just actually sort of do it now. And we'll have that energy kind of pushing us forward. So as long as we're kind of slowing down and observing a little bit, we'll be able to actually tap into this energy this week. So we have these kind of natural instincts, these sort of skills, these things that we know how to do, but we still doubt them. So this is the time to be able to get over some of that self-doubt that started at the beginning of the eclipse season. This is all a culmination, and it's kind of all wrapping up into this week to be able to design our life. And for some, we're getting this reset button, but like in a major way, where we're actually getting the opportunity to reset our life, to rescript our life, to rewrite our life, actually getting this brand new way to design our life day by day. And it's such a gift to be able to actually full on design our life. And I mean, this has been happening with major shifts with people, like marriages ending, careers ending, changing, relationships ending, starting. Like it's been this, like, if you ever wanted a blank slate, this is it. And there's really powerful days that are sprinkled in here too. The 22 master days, Sunday is a master day, as well as the 28th of the month, we get sort of these two master day. Oh, that is Sunday, sorry. We get this master day on the 28th, where it's all of a sudden, and it's the 22nd week of 2023. Like, it's all very congruent with shift and change, and not letting any of these old limiting beliefs kind of hold us back anymore. So the weekend, there's these winds right now. I don't know if you guys have noticed the winds where you are, but these are the winds of change, and we are meant to listen to them. And so when we're in our meditation, we're going to allow the wind to actually speak to us. And this is something that I recommend you guys do this week, especially this weekend. Saturday is a beautiful day of wind messages, wind songs, they call them, where if you were outside in silence, just in the wind, you'll actually hear, super windy all day. Same thing with here. I couldn't even hear some of the courses and stuff I was listening to today, because the wind was so strong. It was all I could hear, and I just decided to shut anything off and just listen to the wind, and just feel it caress my skin just as though I was a tree. And that's why I wanted to do this sort of tree type meditation tonight, where it just feels so beautiful. So if there's no wind there today, pay attention on Saturday. It's the winds of change, and they will speak to you, if you just kind of allow it to pump through your body and just pay attention to how it feels and how it sounds. And just, sometimes these messages don't come in exact words, but they come in feelings, they come in thoughts, they come in emotions, they come in ways that we can't even exactly explain, but they are there. So Saturday is going to be really beautiful for that, as well as even going into Sunday. So on Saturday, we can enjoy the sun having this sort of challenging little dance with Saturn. So you'll probably be taking yourself a little bit more seriously and kind of holding yourself to account a little bit more, and sort of being a little bit more self-responsible, kind of like adulting a little bit this weekend. So in taking a little bit of a break from that adulting, you can just kind of literally go outside and let the wind blow through your hair. Just feel these sort of embodied visions, allowing some of this to shift through. And then Sunday is that big 22 master day. So it's like kind of helping you stay steadfast in your beliefs and in your character and in your values. And that's why I really want to focus on our values. So Monday in our group, we're going to be doing a little bit of a values exercise. So even tonight, as we kind of dive into a bit of a meditation here, if you guys can, and you happen to have a piece of paper and a pen, I think it would be really beautiful to really dive into our future a little bit today. And again, do this on Sunday, where you dive in a little bit to just ways to kind of support your path, like you're an athlete and you're going for something, and just ways that you can sort of keep on supporting yourself. What we're going to write down is what it is that we want to go for. I want us to write down some things that we could do that we would just really like, some things that we could create. Maybe it's, and you can write down one thing, you can write down 5 things, you can write down 10 things. We're going to focus most on meditation and on what feels the best. You could even muscle test it when you're doing it. But I just want you to write some, just, dream, just imagine. And so what we'll do is we'll take a few nice deep breaths, and we'll get into a bit of a state where we're slightly hypoxic and we allow our brain to just expand a bit. I've done tons of breath work with you guys before, but this sort of energy, this fire type breath that I just love doing to get some of those juices flowing, to get some of those thoughts starting to flow, is just by doing a nice deep breath in, where you're sucking in twice with the mouth and you're breathing out hard with the nose once. And so as you're breathing in, you're wanting to expand your belly. As you breathe out, you're wanting to contract your belly and just release all those muscles, and just release your breath as you breathe out through your nose. So let's take just a minute before we start writing and just kind of get into a bit of breath work, where we just start to expand our mind, body, and soul, to connect and get grounded, and just set the intention to allow our body to just receive these messages. Don't think too hard about them. This is the thing. We feel like we have to think so hard and we have to know it all. We don't. This is the magic to just receiving these messages, to just imagining, just playing in the sandbox, and just letting your subconscious mind, which starts to get initiated when we do this breath work, as well as your superconscious mind, has all this information. This information is all in the field. It just needs to be received. And so we're going to tune our frequency to receiving these beautiful messages about what it is that we really want and what it is that we just really want to create. And as we start to focus on that, I'd like you to just start with the breath work and just relax your body as much as possible. We're just going to stay seated for a minute as we just do this breath work. And then we're just going to write for about a minute or so as to some of those things that we just really, really want. It could be 1 million followers on YouTube. It could be tons of clients coming each month. It could be certain numbers of things. It could be, like I say, writing a book. It could be reading a book. It could be just, exercise. It could be, I just want to create something that maybe hasn't fully manifested yet, but just something that you really want. And so I want you to just focus on that. As you take a couple of breaths in, it will sound and look like this. It will look like now keep going with that. 2 breaths in, 1 out through the nose, expanding your belly when you breathe in and out, deflating that belly. And I want you to make it as forceful as you can without tightening anything. In through the mouth and out through the nose. 2 breaths in and 1 breath out. And just doing this cyclically for about a minute. And dropping your shoulders, noticing your belly as you keep breathing in and out like this, just feeling your body relax. Paying attention to that breath going in and out, and your mouth should be starting to dry out at this point, so you can just release that into cyclical breaths now, and you can even open your eyes if you manage to close them. And I want you to just think about some things that you really want to create in your life. It could be a new relationship. It could be harmonious relationships. It could be peaceful and joyful relationships. It could be grounded and equal relationships. I want you to really think about what it is that don't forget you're scripting now for the next 6 years of your life. This is a huge change. This is a huge shift. And it's a shift. This is it. This is the shift. This is, oh, I've got goosebumps. This is the shift we have been working towards. This is the shift that had to happen to shift us into this new reality, to create this tension, to allow this to happen in this divine timing. And we're all on different timelines per se. We're all on different times where, some of us are progressing really far right now. We're right here. Some of us are like, I have no idea what she's talking about. I don't even know what I want. That's when we can dial into our birth chart. We can dial into some other things to give us some insight. We can do some sort of deeper diving. But right now, this is all about just allowing these answers that are all in there, these things that we've just been kind of asking for a long time. And if you don't know, think about taking a magic wand. And if you were to just wave it right now, take your magic wand, hold on to it, and I would want this to appear. Just write that down right now. Perhaps it's lots of money. Perhaps it's a puppy. Perhaps it's a donkey or some other kind of animal that you want to manifest. Something that you want in your life that you just feel ready for. Now, we're not going to say yes to all of these, but we are going to say yes to a few. And we're going to notice some of these things that we're writing down. If you can't be writing it down, you can just think about it. You can just think about the things that you would really like. If you want to put some in the chat, you're welcome to as well. You're also welcome to just keep this to yourself and really look at those things that you want to create. Is it health? Is it true health and wellness? Is it actually feeling that throughout your body, actually feeling and being healthy? Are you really ready for this? And I want you to just look at some of these things that you've written down. And in this space with this blood and oxygen sort of flowing through the brain, I want you to finish the sentence. If you were to look at that and go, I really want this, but what could you write down beside it? What is your resistance that's showing up? What is the contrast around it? I really want health and wellness, but what are you afraid of? Why haven't you created it yet? Just let that thought flow. Don't think about it too hard. Just play in the sandbox and just let the answer come. They're most profound when you just allow yourself to receive these messages, to receive these answers. Are you afraid that you may fail? Are you afraid that you might not be able to stay consistent? Are you afraid that people might start noticing you? Are you afraid that people might start judging you? Are you afraid that life may change? you afraid that life may be easy and you don't know what to do with that? Are you afraid to have something because you may lose it? What are you afraid of? Why hasn't that been created yet? Just notice the things that are coming up, not judgmentally. This has been a shadowy working couple of weeks where what I mean by that is things that are so deep down that we didn't even know. We've been working on this for years. We feel like we should know this already, but it's coming up again for a reason. It's coming through or coming around again for a reason. And we wouldn't have opened the door to wanting it if we didn't really want it. We want this. This is the shift. This is where the magic happens, because this is a way. We're feeling it on a conscious level. We're feeling it on a subconscious level. We're feeling it on a super conscious level, that we are truly ready for this. And with this, I would love for us to just get comfortable and get into recode meditation position. I am going to do a little bit of a recode today, just for some of the stuff that we've brought up into the field, some of the resistance. And I'm going to just take us on this little guided meditation where we expand into the frequencies and just allow ourselves to truly visualize and be there and heal whatever is in the way. To really allow this to move through, to really allow and accept the act of receiving into our lives. So when you're ready, we'll have you just taking a nice deep breath, closing your eyes, getting comfortable, whether you want to lay down, whether you want to stay seated. I want you to just connect with your body, connect with your mind, soul, spirit, and just allow yourself to truly embody the receiving energies of the earth, these showers of abundance that have been raining on us, that we've been simply putting an umbrella up and stopping. I want you to imagine these abundances, these beautiful flowings from the earths and the cosmos and the energy that is all around us in the universe. I want you to just feel that energy all around you, coming in like a golden light through your head, and just imagining right now that you have this golden light, this light from the sun that's energizing and charging you and lighting up all the deepest, darkest corners of all your true wishes and desires. It's matching your solar plexus energy. It's opening it up. This weekend, the throat and the heart are really going to open too. So just allowing this golden energy to start sprinkling in through the top of your head, like it's sprinkling in sunlight right through the skull, like your soul and your skull are expanding all at once to just allow as much sunlight in as possible. Imagine that your brain is just being coated in this beautiful golden light as it just slowly moves down over your forehead and your eyes, pouring over every cell, expanding and lightening it like a feather, expanding all the cells in your face, all down your cheeks, all down your ears, feeling that sunlight, that golden energy start to just create this beautiful shift in your cells, like it's lighting them all up. It's causing them all to vibrate and expand and move and shake and clean and clear away all the crud, like it's shaking off like a dog would after a bath, and just allowing the light to shine again underneath, cleaning and clearing anything throughout the head, the brain, any of that fog, any of that lack of clarity, that discontinuation that was happening with source, just cleaning and clearing all of that. And just allowing this light to move down the head and through the throat, bringing all this light down into the throat chakra, into the whole face, the whole throat, down to your collarbones, just feeling it fill with light, like it's just being liquefied like sunshine, pouring through and down over your shoulders, cascading this light down, causing every cell in your arms to start to feel lighter as it moves down into your heart and your rib cage and your lungs, like it's purifying and cleansing the wholeness of the dense energy in your body, allowing that heart wall to just simply fall away, to dissipate, to unlock, allowing the healing to start to occur in the heart chakra, and just noticing some of those deepest desires from your heart. I want you to imagine your heart center expanding to the next version of you, where you're simply allowing yourself to receive, allowing yourself to receive all the air you can receive, all of the ways that you're abundant that you can receive, all the ways that you can be grateful every morning that you can receive, all of the feelings of love that you can receive, whether it's from pets, animals, the cosmos, nature, water. Even as you're showering, you can feel the water just loving and cleansing you. Imagine that feeling as it moves down your whole rib cage and into your solar plexus, where your deepest desires and your longest wishes have been stirring around in there, just being ready to come out. Feeling in touch with some of the things that are really important to you. What is really important to you? Are friendships? Is love? Is being free, happy, balanced, joyous, free to do what you want, having more than you can ever imagine spending, to be able to help whoever you want to, whenever you want to, just having that freedom, that lack of constraint, just feeling into that beautiful feeling of freedom. As your solar plexus starts to vibrate and relax and open all at the same time, cleansing and clearing anything from that area holding dense energy, and allowing this golden light to move down through your sacral plexus and your root chakra, simply grounding you through all the familial patterns, all of the stuff that has been trapped and stuck down there. And imagine the energy starting to flow through like golden light, just pouring down through that sacral plexus and that root chakra, cleansing, clearing, transmuting anything in those energy centers, and just allowing that energy to move through your body as it taps down into the pelvis and into the legs, cleaning and clearing any ancestral gunk, any family patterns, any old stories, just allowing any of those to come to surface right now. As you notice some of the things that may have been stopping you, realize that they're not even yours. They could be the voices of someone else. It could be people's opinions we were asking for. Knowing that the truth is deep inside, just really stopping you from going and getting what it is that you want, from creating this life that you love, from being that true nature and purpose that you know that you are. What is stopping you? Tagging and treating any resistance to living this true life that we love, of our nature and purpose. And bringing all of our parts and personalities on board right now. The protectors, the controllers, the ones that keep us safe. The inner child and the inner wounded child. The wounded soul or sibling, bringing all of these parts. The wounded friend, or perhaps the perpetrator, bringing in that part, bringing in the victim, bringing in the hero, all of the parts, getting them in line with what it is that we truly do want. I want you to step into that identity right now of a person that actually has that, what would you be looking like right now? If you went for what it is that you really want, who would be there with you? Would someone be there with you? What would the winds of change be telling you that you're truly ready for? What have they been whispering in your ear so far that you know you are truly ready for? Feel it in every cell of your body right now, that willingness to receive, that allowance to finally receive whatever you've been calling in. Allowing that to expand in every cell of your body, really feeling that. Calling those codes in from down deep into Mother Earth as you feel the energy move all the way down your legs and tap into her beautiful grid, her beautiful crystal energy grid that's now loading up all of these codes that you're ready to load into your system, into your energy field. These codes of simply being willing to explore, to be adventurous, to allow these new opportunities, to notice them, to feel worthy, and bringing all the parts and personalities on board with this new identity. And just envision it. What would you be wearing? Where would you be? Notice what you just noticed right now. Don't think about it too hard. Just allow these messages to be received. Allow these thoughts to come in, these random, beautiful visions. Imagine yourself being somewhere where you are just so happy and safe. Notice things that you might smell there. It might be ocean air, it might be trees, it might be just fire, nature, flowers, oils. What are you smelling? What are you feeling? Does it just feel so good to actually be loved? To be able to receive that love that we always give to others? Actually feel it. Feel yourself being in the receiving mode. Feeling good about receiving all the abundance, feeling good and not guilty, releasing shame, tagging and treating all the emotions of shame, grief, doubt, disbelief, anger, sadness. Doing a massive change history on all those emotions. Finally allowing ourselves to be free. And imagine now as you're standing there that these roots are growing deep down into the earth to the point where it almost feels as though you're changing into a tree. And imagine what a tree would feel like as its roots expanded down deep into the earth, just simply knowing that the roots are going to reach the exact source of food and water that they don't maybe currently have yet, but it's there. There's no doubt that exactly what they need is just underneath the roots, may just need to grow a little bit more. And I want you to imagine these roots growing out of the bottoms of your feet as you're standing in this area and you start to become a tree. You can notice the kind of tree that you may be starting to form into, maybe bamboo where it's swaying in the wind. It may be a solid oak tree or maybe a maple. Maybe a poplar that's a little bit thinner, it can still really flow with the wind. But does a tree ever have to worry about it not showing up? Does a tree ever have to worry that its roots aren't going to grow? They're genetically designed, they're made to expand, to grow, to thrive, to be the biggest, most beautiful tree that they can be, just as you are. And just as sure as the tree is that it's going to receive this nature and nurture from the earth, I want you to feel that same expansion as you just allow yourself to turn into a tree, as you just flow in the wind, as you just grow, maybe you get stronger and bigger and more solid. Notice all the things. Maybe you're a fruit tree that just starts being able to give and receive. You may be made of an element like gold or silver. Just notice what your tree looks like and just imagine that everything is coming to it just as it needs to grow. And I want you again in this solid form, in this sure form that's receiving all of the energy that it needs to receive. Is there anything holding you back from growing into the tree that you can envision right now? Is there anything that needs to be done? If you were to imagine that this was your life and there was something that could move you forward, something that could support your tree, maybe a little fertilizer, maybe a certain amount of water, or food, or rest, maybe it has to be transplanted. What does this tree need to be able to get exactly what it needs from the earth and grow exactly as it can? Can you do anything to support it? Simply being, simply allowing it to just receive. And if this tree's branches were to have some of your values on it, I want you to just expand and see some of these trees and watch it get even more beautiful as you add some of your values. Some of these things that are really important to you, some of these things that you really want to make a priority in your life. Could be music, could be love, could be relationships where you're going to start pruning some leaves maybe. And I want you to just imagine receiving all of this in every way with no shame, with no guilt, with no, just because you're getting some photosynthesis happening doesn't mean that another tree isn't. In fact, you're giving to all of the other trees as you create more. Just imagine your tree growing and expanding more beautifully with every value that you put on it, with every value that you recognize is important to you. Could be integrity, could be honesty. What are ways that you can grow more of this in your life? Could be giving, could be receiving. What are ways that you can achieve more of this in your life? Are you giving or are you holding on? Are you feeling abundant? Or are you feeling the lack thereof? What are you focusing on? This is what is going to help your tree to grow, noticing exactly what you're focusing on. And feeling those codes just being coded and fed from Mother Earth, from the natural crystal grid. I want you to just take a nice deep breath as you actually resonate with what it feels like to be a solid, grounded, anchored tree that is tapped in, tuned in, and turned on in the universe. And you're simply receiving everything that you possibly could from the earth as though it was meant to be. Simply allowing your roots to drink in all of the goodness that is put in your field. And I want you to just choose right now to feel the feeling of receiving throughout your whole body as though your tree is starting to glow just like you were with this golden light. Making it so light, making it so free, making every cell in that tree glow. As you start to come back to your body, as you start to feel your feet planted in the ground, and the light codes start to move up your whole body from the earth, giving you everything you need to be able to receive and fully allow. And just tell the universe how ready you are to just allow the energy of receiving into your life. How you've never felt it before, how you're ready to expand into that energy. How you're ready to just allow yourself to take down the umbrella and let yourself be showered with all the abundance that the world has been trying to give you, allow you to receive. And I want you to imagine opening your arms to it. I want you to imagine the branches opening up to the sunlight, just like you would be opening up your arms to the universe, just saying thank you, just literally receiving, just feeling it come in, opening up your arms and welcoming it in, feeling it come into every cell of your body, right through that heart. And super conscious, just go through tagging and treating any events that may be causing any resistance into just feeling this energy of receiving. And do a massive change history around that. Anything in the field coming up, keeping us from our true end choices, from our true end results. And just tagging and treating any experiences and any emotions that would be causing any resistance in us just being open to receive, and do a massive change history on all of that. And feeling that light flood in a little bit more into every cell as it starts to almost be a sound that you can hear starting to increase in your body, increase in your energy field. Like a frequency tuning up and turning on, and you're finally ready to hear it. Like a radio station, you're finally tuning in. One that has all your hopes and wishes and desires, and it's just this replaying sound, replaying voice, saying, I am truly ready to receive all the abundances that the earth and the universe and the cosmos have in store for me. I am just ready to receive. And with that, just take a beautiful, nice, big receiving breath, and know that setting that energy into play is a heck of a lot different than being in resistance. And it feels so good. It feels so light. Grounding all of this into the matrix of the universe, into memories and timelines 1, 2, and 3. Tagging and treating anything else in the field, in the emotional and mental and physical bodies, skeletal, endocrine, and all the systems. Doing a massive super recode on anything else in the field. When you're ready, you can just take a nice deep breath. Wiggle a toe, wiggle a finger, feel your body. Connect with your heart. And know that when you go in and allow your head and your heart to come together and make a decision from that point, you're most often leading yourself in the right direction. And just taking a few minutes to even feel that way, like really feel ready to receive, that's telling you, we can't lie to the universe. The universe knows if we're thinking, well, I'm really ready to receive, but I just don't, I have to lose 20 pounds first, or I have to look better, or I have to be a better person, or I have to have this other course first. The universe listens to all of that and goes, oh, okay, well then that's what we'll do. We'll show you more of that. When we really make that decision, when we really feel it, when we're really ready to finally receive, and we enter it into the universe on that vibrational level, there's no mistaking. It's very clear, and the universe is already providing. It's just now step 3, as Abraham Hicks always says. Step 1 is asking, step 2 is the universe responding, step 3 is where we allow it and where we receive, and this is where the shift happens, and this is where we're at cosmically right now. So join us on Monday for a little value session where we explore some past values and some present ones and some future ones, which is a lot of fun. It's almost like starting over. We're starting kind of back at the beginning of Magnetic Mind, where we're getting our lenses, getting our values really dialed in a really different, profound way, because the work that we've been doing over time has been so earth-shattering And this is a time to celebrate the amount of work that we've been through and the amount of work that we're done, and the fact that we are making these shifts. This is where we get to actually finally kind of start seeing it. So have an amazing week this week, just dialing all that in, really writing out your new blank slate without the universe making you. Really make this choice to create what it is that you want, because you are going to see it starting to come through in the next week. June's going to be exciting and fun and a big energetic shift. If you guys have any more questions about finding your natal chart or your birth chart or anything, let me know. And in Magnetic Soul Life Coaching, I'll put up some of those PDFs that you can see that has what each planet does and what each house contains as well, just so that you have an easy reference. Thank you guys. Thank you for the warm thank yous in the chat. I love it. Hopefully I tried to pack a lot into this hour session, so hopefully I didn't overwhelm anybody. But I'm just going to sign off on Facebook here.